Hey friends, welcome back to another slow flow. Today is going to be slow and stretchy, but also building a little bit of strength in there. It's full body and it's going to feel super nourishing. Let's start on our backs. So roll yourself down, finding your way into a Shavasana position. So letting the toes and the ankles roll out. Having your hands lay wherever it feels most right for you today. Maybe that's by your sides. Maybe it's hands on the belly, hands on the heart. And just starting to take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. Feeling the ribs, the belly, the chest expand on your in-breath. And feeling it all come back to center on the out-breath. We are mostly focusing on our asana practice today, so our movement practice. But perhaps you might think about what this practice allows you to feel. What does it connect? What freedom does it give, not only during the time that we're practicing here, but also in the rest of your day? And as you start to think about this a little bit more, let's draw the knees up into the chest. Find a little ball, maybe drawing the nose towards the knees. And just giving yourself a little squeeze. Let's find a figure 4 here. So bend the left knee and cross the right foot over the left thigh. Without using the hand, see if you can draw the left knee towards you. Keep pressing the right knee away, finding a deep stretch within the hips. And then when you're ready, thread the hands through. Find the back of the left thigh or the left shin. Use the hands to pull yourself a little bit closer. Connecting your movement with your breath. Finding softness and stillness. And keep your feet in a figure 4, but take the left hand around the right foot, right hand towards the right side of the mat. Try draw the left knee and the right foot towards the left side. So finding a figure 4 twist. Maybe the right temple draws towards the ground. And try press the right knee away from you. Let's draw the knees back to center and then swap it out. So bending the right knee and taking the left ankle over the top of the thigh. Draw the right knee towards you, press the left knee out without using the help of the hands. And then when you're ready, just threading the hands around maybe the right thigh or the right shin. Just being really gentle here because we're still warming up our joints and our muscles. Being kind and nourishing to our body. And then just release the hands around the back of the legs. Take the right hand around the left foot. Draw the left knee, the right knee and the left foot towards the ground. Maybe the eye gaze down towards your left hand. Keep trying to press that left knee away. And then return back to center. Take your legs out, take your hands above you, find a full body stretch. Extend your limbs, open your mouth. Take up space here. Big breath here. And then when you're ready, drawing the feet back behind your hips. Take the hands beside you and lift your hips up into a Setu Bandhasana, our glute bridge. Squeeze your glutes, press the heels, and if it feels good, maybe taking the hands underneath your body, rocking up high onto your shoulders. Take one more full breath here, finding that inflation through the chest, and then on your exhale, rolling yourself down. Take the backs of the legs, roll yourself up and down your spine a few times, using your breath. We're going to land up into a seat, but we're going to take our feet wide, finding our wide-legged fold forward. You might bend your knees here. Try to turn the knees up towards the ceiling, the toes towards the ceiling, using your breath to lengthen you forward, exhaling to deepen. Again, we're still warming up, so this is probably going to feel quite tight perhaps, so don't force anything, just let it be. Encouraging our spine to elongate on our in-breath, encouraging ourselves to deepen and soften on our out-breath. Start to walk the hands back. Take a big breath in, lift your right hand up, and as you exhale, side bend. Maybe the left hand or elbow drapes on the inside of the left leg. Inhale to lift. Exhale, find the other side. So drawing the left hand up and over, revolving that top shoulder back to find a big, long stretch down the side of the body. Maybe lifting your eye gaze here as well. Find your way back up. Let's bring the knees together and find your way back into a tabletop position. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Maybe shift the hips from side to side, just looking towards the back of the feet. Find your way back to neutral and start to draw the right foot back. Tuck onto the toes and shift your weight forward and back. Opening through the toes, the back of the foot, the calves, all the way up, maybe even into the wrists. Use your breath. Take the left foot towards the left side of the mat. Right foot turns towards the right side. Reach the right hand up and over. Modified side plank, Vashisthasana. Maybe lifting your eye gaze towards your right hand. Start to reach it towards the ceiling. Use your in-breath and strength of the core to lift yourself up. Keep traveling over. Right hand towards the side of the leg. Other hand up and over. Soften your shoulders here. Engage through the quads. Take an in-breath to lift yourself tall. Reach both hands high. Start to tip forward on your exhale. Strength of the core, long spine. And then land the hand down. Maybe starting to shift forward and back a little bit. And see if you can press the outer edge of the right foot towards the ground. So we're opening through the ankle as well. So opening through the abductors and the hamstrings. And then just start to walk your hands over towards your right foot, coming up onto your fingertips. Engage through that right quad, drawing the knee up into the leg. Maybe reaching that left hand a little bit further. Walk the hands back in, turn towards the back of the mat. We're finding a kneeling lunge. Take an in-breath to reach the right hand towards the ceiling. Soften the shoulders. And you might stay here, or you might tuck onto the left toes and lift the left knee off. Engage through the core. Bring that right hand down, step back into your plank. Inhale. As we exhale, bend the elbows close towards the body, towards the ground. Take an in-breath, baby cobra. Then as we exhale, press up onto your hands, sink yourself back into a child's pose. A breath or two in your balasana. Softening every point that touches the ground. And then find your way back into your tabletop. Let's try that on the other side. So extend your left foot out long, tuck onto the toes, and start to shift forward and back. trying to keep that spine in neutral, and using your breath to travel you forward. Take the right toes towards the right side of the mat. Reach the left hand towards the front of the back of the mat, finding your side plank here. Try and make as big of an arch through your side body as you can. Then start to reach that left hand towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in to lift yourself up. Keep traveling. And then exhale to land the left hand on the shin or the thigh, right hand up and over. Beautiful side stretch. Inhale to lift both hands. As we exhale, start to tip yourself forward. Reach, reach, reach. Then land. Well done. A little shift forward and back. Again, make sure that the left toes are pointing towards the side of the mat. Press the left outer foot down towards the ground. And just shifting forward and back as much as feels comfortable. And start to walk your hands over towards that left foot, reaching the right fingertips a little bit further away. Keep trying to sink down with your exhale. And then walk the hands back towards the front of the mat. Pivot your feet, pivot your hips. Take a big breath in to lift the left hand towards the ceiling. If it feels good, maybe you tuck onto the right toes and lift the right knee off, finding your twisted lunge. Reach your left hand back down. In breath to take the left foot back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, bend the elbows. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a few breaths here. Pedaling out one foot at a time, bending the knees. And just noticing where you feel this in your body today. Let's start to walk up towards the top of the mat. Bring the feet hip width distance. Bend the knees, draw the chin in towards the chest, and let your upper body hang forward. And maybe you find a ragdoll, clasping opposite hands around the opposite elbows. Maybe a little bounce up and down, shaking of the head. Start to bring the hands to the shins, inhaling halfway lift. Exhaling Uttanasana. Inhale, lift your arms above your head, find your length. Exhale, hands to heart center. Connect. Ground. Bring the hands back down, then circle them back up on an in-breath. As we exhale, bring the hands behind your back, clasp the hands together. Inhale here. As we exhale, tip forward, bend your knees and let your upper body hang forward, reaching the palms towards the top of the mat. Next in-breath, hands to shins, halfway lift, shoulders in line with hips. As we exhale, plant the hands back down, step back into your plank, chaturanga, bend the elbows. Inhaling, upward facing dog, shoulders roll back. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Lifting the tailbone, bending your knees, bringing the heels towards the ground. Start to walk the feet back towards the hands, inhaling. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale to fold again. Inhale to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach the hands. Exhale to Tadasana, hands by the sides. Inhale to reach again. Exhale, bring the hands behind the back. Try press the palms together. Inhale. Exhale, tip forward, bend your knees. Let the upper body soften. On your next in-breath, release the hands, halfway lift, shoulders pull back. Exhale, bring the hands down, step back, chaturanga, baby cobra or upward facing dog on your in-breath. Squeeze your glutes. Exhaling to roll over your toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Find a breath. Let's try that one more time. So on your next in-breath, walk your feet high. Exhale to soften. In-breath, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go, soften. Inhale to ripple through the spine, one vertebrae, lift the arms. Exhale, Tadasana, recenter. Inhale to lift. Lift the eye gaze, and then exhale, bring the hands behind. Find the beautiful space in the heart. Inhale. Exhale, let it dive you forward. Reach the knuckles forward. On your next in-breath, let's bring the hands back towards the shins. Halfway lift. Long legs, long spine. Exhale, let it go. Step it back. Chaturanga. Elbows close. Inhaling to open. Press away with the hands. Exhaling, closing it back. Find a breath. We're going to find a short sequence, finding our way into a few standing postures. On your next in-breath, right toes sweep high, three-legged dog. As we exhale, let's bend the knee and open the hip towards the side. So we want to try to stack that top hip as close as we can to on top of the bottom hip. Draw the right shoulder down. Inhale to draw the right knee into the nose, round through the upper back. As we exhale, step that right foot in between the hands. Inhale to reach the arms high, high lunge. Exhaling to soften. Try to square the hips here, stacking the shoulders on top of the hips. Shoulders are soft, but arms are long. Start to lengthen through the right leg, tip the upper body forward, reach the hands back. Parsvottanasana. You can always bring the hands down if you need. As much of a bend in that right knee as you want. Next in-breath, let's reach the hands back high, bend the right knee, high lunge. Let's try to lengthen through that back leg. And then start to plant the left heel down. Reach the right hand forward, lengthen through that right leg. And then plant the right hand on the shin, the ankle, or the thigh. Utthita Trikonasana. Left hand reaches towards the ceiling and then bring it back down. Step back into the plank, inhale. Exhale, find your Vinyasa, so Chaturanga. Inhaling to open, exhaling to close. Find a breath. Let's try the other side. So inhale, sweep the left toes towards the ceiling. Then as we exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. So bringing that left foot close towards the glutes, drawing that left shoulder down, but keep the softness in the right knee and the right ankle. Next, inhale, draw the left knee into the nose, round through the upper back, then set the foot in between the hands, exhale. Inhale to rise the arms, and then exhale to soften. Lengthen through that back leg. Find the length through the fingertips. On your next inhale, start to lengthen through that left leg. Tip forward, reach the arms behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Find that long spine, so we're not tipping forward too much here. On your next in-breath, bend through the left knee again. Reach the arms high, high lunge. Right back of the leg is trying to touch the ceiling. And start to drop the right heel down. Lengthen through that left leg. Reach that left hand forward, and then find your placing. Utthita Trikonasana, finding that long spine, stacking that left shoulder on top of the right. Left hand is light here, so we're engaging through the legs and the core. Let's reach that right hand back down, step back into your plank, find your Vinyasa, back into your downward facing dog. Using your breath to find you there. Have a breath or two. Keep bending those knees, softening the heels down. And then start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Uttanasana at the back of the mat. Chin in towards the chest. And then start to step that left foot behind the right. So we're crossing the ankles over. Make sure the knees are bent here. And then reach your fingertips over towards the right side of the mat, or maybe even off it. Drawing the nose towards the knee. Lifting the tailbone high, and then walking the hands back, stepping the left foot back, and then reaching the right foot behind. Bend the knees, and then start to walk the hands over towards the left side. So again, trying to find that big side opening through the right side. Walk the hands back, step the feet together or apart. Inhaling, halfway lift. Find that length, and exhale, fold it forward. Inhale and articulate to lift, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands through heart center, and then Tadasana. Let's take the hands behind us. Reach the back of the palms towards an imaginary wall behind us. As slow as you can, try reach the hands back towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in. As we exhale, find the opposite. So reaching the hands back as far as they can, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Try that one more time. Reach through the fingertips, find that length. Take an in-breath at the top. As we exhale, tip it forward, bend the knees. On your next in-breath, halfway lift. And as we exhale, walk yourself forward, find your Tatadanga. Inhaling to open, exhaling to close. Eye gaze in between the feet. Let's find that main sequence again. Just going to add on and take away a little bit. On your next in-breath, lift the right toes, three-legged dog. Then bend the knee and open the hip towards the side. Try draw the right shoulder down, bend the left knee, soften the left ankle. Inhale to draw the right knee into the nose, round through the upper back. Then step it forward, exhale. Inhale to rise, find your strength here. Exhaling to soften. Draw the shoulders down, but keep reaching high. Next in-breath, start to lengthen through that right leg again. Reach the hands forward, then sweep them back. Using your core to hold yourself here. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward, square it off. Find that length. And using your next in-breath, let's reach the hands back high, bend the right knee, high lunge, sink into it. I'm going to try something a little bit different this time. Start to lengthen through the right leg. Using your in-breath, take the left hand around the right shin or the right thigh. Reach the right hand towards the ceiling. So we're finding a revolved Trikonasana, Parivrita Trikonasana. Engage the core. Start to bring the hands back down. Soften the left knee towards the ground. Turn the toes towards the side. Walk the hands towards the back. Reach the right fingers towards the back. And then start to take some circles. That was a big movement. So find your way here if you haven't already. Big sweeps. Use your breath. And then start to reach the right hand high, using your inhale to lift you tall. Exhale to reach the right hand down the right side body. Gate pose. Side body stretch. Then just bring the hands back down towards the ground. Bring the sit bones towards the back of the mat. Take the right foot over the left thigh. If you find that your right hip is lifting up here, take the left foot out, finding some space. Use your in-breath to lift you tall. Exhale to wrap. Adho Matsyendrasana. So finding a twist through the spine. Try to look over that right shoulder, broadening through the collarbones. Unwind, bring your hands to the left side of the body, bring the hands towards the back of the mat, step back into your plank, find your way back into your downward facing dog. If you have to look at the screen to find out where you're going, that's totally okay. The most important thing is that you find yourself back into an Adho Mukha Svanasana at the back. Let's try this on the other side. So on your inhale, sweep your left toes high. As we exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Soften that right knee. Soften the right heel. Draw that left shoulder down. Press through the palms and the fingertips. Use your in-breath to travel you forward, drawing the left knee into the nose. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Inhale to rise. It's okay if you wobble on the way up. Exhale to soften. Just feeling the strength and the freedom here. Using your in-breath to lengthen through that left leg. Reach your hands forward. Then start to reach the hands back. Squeezing the shoulders onto the back body. Drawing the left hip back, right hip forward. Use your in-breath to start to bend through the leg again. Reaching the hands high. Softening down. Let's find that Parivrita Trikonasana on the other side. So extend that left leg long, reaching the right hand towards the shin, the thigh. If you have a block, you could also bring your hand down onto there or the ground. Revolve that left shoulder back. Try lift your eye gaze here. Keep lengthening that left hip back. Then bring that left hand down, right knee touches the ground, right toes turn, right hand turns towards the front of the mat. Find your modified side plank. Then start to take some big circles. Again, if you have to look at the screen, then please do. Use your breath. So inhaling to open, exhaling to close. And start to reach your hand back towards the ceiling. Use the strength of the core to lift you high. Keep traveling over. Reach that left hand down the left leg. Right hand up and over. Soften the shoulders. Then start to bring your hands back down. Come onto your sit bones towards the top of the mat again. Bring that left foot up and over the right thigh. Again, you can always extend that right leg long. Take an in-breath to lift yourself tall. And then as you exhale, wrapping the elbow around the thigh to twist yourself around. You can also bring the elbow on top of the thigh if that feels better for you, more nourishing. Using every inhale to lift yourself a little taller. Every exhale to deepen you into your twist. Unwind, turn towards the right. Plant the hands back towards the top of the mat. Find your plank. And use your breath, using your inhale to open, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Reconnect. Find your breath. And then touch the knees down towards the ground, untuck the toes, sink your hips back into your balasana. Just noticing how your body's feeling. Noticing where your mind space is. Just seeing if you can bring it back. I'm going to start to slow things down. So when you're ready, just rolling through your spine, coming up through a tabletop, then finding your way onto your belly. Let's find a Sphinx pose. So elbows come underneath your shoulders, forearms out in front parallel. Using your in-breath to reach the crown of the head forward, trying to thread the heart space through in front of you, drawing the shoulders onto the back body. Squeeze the glutes. Finding a gentle back bend. And you can stay here. If you wanted a little bit more, we can try a half bow variation. So bending the left leg, taking the right hand around, clasping at the left ankle. You could stay with the knee on the ground, or you could try and press your hand, your foot into your hand. Pressing the elbow in towards the ground and then letting it go. Let's try the other side. So bending the right knee, taking the left hand around. Maybe you stay with the right knee grounded, or you kick up into that hand. Squeeze the glutes. Draw the left shoulder back. Inhaling. Exhale, let it go. Bring the hands back by the ribs, press up. Find your way back into your balasana. Softening here. Start to hover the hands off the ground. I'm going to circle them towards the back, clasping at the ankles or the shins, somewhere on the leg. You could stay here, or you could start to lift your hips off your heels, finding your way onto the crown of the head, rounding through the upper back. Sasangasana, rabbit pose. Trying to spread the shoulder blades apart, using your in-breath, trying to expand through the back of the ribs. Exhaling to press away with the hands, pull away. And soften back down. Reach the hands back forward. I'm going to start to shift the weight forward. You can either find a wide child's pose by taking the knees towards the edges of the mat, or maybe we find a frog pose. So the knees might come a little bit wider. The feet come in line with the knees, so you're making 2 90-degree angles. Try to flex the toes here. This is a very strong opener for the hips, so use your breath. Maybe you start a little bit higher, and maybe when you feel ready, you start to shift your hips back and forward. Keep that spine really long, so we're not dumping down into our belly. And maybe using every exhale to take the knee a little bit wider. Not forcing our bodies into a place it doesn't want to go into, but being very kind and nourishing. If you're in your frog, let's draw the toes back together, draw the knees back together, find your way into a narrow child's pose. Recenter. And start to walk the hands back, cross over the ankles, find our way into our sitting bones. Start to shift your weight forward. We're going to come back to the top of the mat. Extend both legs long, soft bend of the knees. Take a big breath in to lift both hands towards the ceiling, long spine. As we exhale, reach the hands forward, tip yourself. And then when you feel like you can't go any further, draw the hands down, maybe towards the ground, maybe wherever they land on the legs. Drawing the chin in towards the chest. Paschimottanasana. Breathing into the back of the ribs. And start to walk the hands back. Let's bend the right knee, take the foot outside the hips. Now you can have that knee a little bit further away from you, or you could draw it in a little bit. It's all up to you and your preference. You could stay up on your hands sitting tall, or you could start to walk your back onto your elbows or back onto your back. The most important thing is that you feel no pain in the knee or the ankle. If you do feel any sharp sensations, then please find your way back up, maybe putting a blanket underneath you and just staying sitting. Maybe squeezing the glutes here a little bit, drawing the knee down so we find length through the hip flexor and the quadricep. If you are in your back, let's find our way back to our elbows. Find your way back into your forward fold. So extend the legs long. Take a big breath in to lift both hands. As we exhale, reach yourself forward. Find that length through the lower spine. And then soften down. Finding stillness again. Just noticing where your mind wanders to when we slow things down. And start to walk ourselves back. Let's try that on the other side. So bending the left knee. Again, you can take this a little bit wider if you want a more external opening for the leg, for the hip. Or you could draw it in a little bit more for a more internal rotation. Be coming down to your elbows or the shoulders. In each asana, every posture, we want to find stillness, We want to be comfortable and steady. Keep finding that 3-part breath, the chest, the ribs, the belly, breathing into all 3 parts. And if you're on your back, let's come on back to our elbows. Walk onto your hands, extend your leg long. Let's try this one more time. Take a big breath in to lift both hands. As we exhale, tip forward. This time, we're just going to rebound and lie down onto our backs. Before we do this, if you'd like to put on something warm, please feel free to. Let's draw the knees into the chest. Find a little ball. Maybe drawing the knees around. Just noticing how much space you've created since we first started moving. Maybe you stay in a ball or you find a happy baby. Drawing the knees wide, maybe the hands come around the thighs, the ankles or the feet. Really just make this movement yours. What feels good here? Drawing the feet out, drawing the feet in. Let's extend the left leg long, draw the right knee into the chest. Maybe you stay here, or you can extend the foot long towards the ceiling or wherever you're practicing, the sky. Let's take the left hand around the right shin or the right ankle and just draw the right leg across, trying to keep the right hip on the ground. Flex the toes here, finding an IT band stretch as well as hamstring. Try soften. Let's find the other side. So drawing the left knee into the chest, drawing it close, taking the hands around the shins, and maybe you stay here, or maybe you find the foot up above you. Maybe taking the hands around the thighs, a few ankle circles here if that feels good. And then taking the right hand around the left shin, left ankle, left thigh, drawing the left foot across the right side of the body. Left hip stays down. And then taking the left foot back towards the ground. It's finding our way into our Shavasana. Extending both legs long. Finding our position that we started in. Although, if there is another position that is calling you, please go there. Listen to your body. Reconnecting with our breath. Enjoying the benefits of our asana practice. Just taking note of where the mind is at the moment. What makes our yoga practice different from any other form of movement practice is that it's not just about the body. In fact, the movement is just such a small part of yoga. A lot of it is about our connection, staying present, finding joy in the stillness. Start to take a few deeper breaths, inflating the ribs, the chest, the belly with breath. And finding your exhales to deepen and just let things move through. Maybe you find a full body stretch, reaching the arms over your head, extending the limbs as long as you can, finding space, taking up space because you deserve it. Maybe drawing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a little hug, a little squeeze. And then in your own time, finding your way into a seat, a sukhasana, keeping your eyes closed. Maybe you bring your hands to heart center, finding gratitude, finding that connection between your heart, body, mind. And I thank you so much for practicing with me. And I hope to see you again sometime soon. Namaste.